So friend, here is the list of services AWS provides to consumers. Amazon Web Services. We have discussed that it's a service model named as IaaS, means AWS is one of the companies which falls into service model named IaaS. So let me write it here for you. It's a part of IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So there are 40 plus services which are being provided and available for consumers. So but you do not need to know about all of the services. So in this chapter I'm going to highlight 3 or 4 services to you, and in the next chapter we'll discuss more about rest of the services. So I'm going to start with EC2. Okay, so what is EC2? EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, let me write it here. Elastic Compute Cloud. So what is it? In the language of AWS, we call it a virtual server or a virtual machine. Okay, so you can install Linux based image in that or Windows based, and or you can call it a EC2 instance. Means the virtual machine in AWS environment can be called as EC2 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 instance. So that's the naming convention. It is very similar to your you know desktop or laptop, but it's a virtual environment. All right. So other good thing or good point in EC2 is that it supports many security features. So it has the ability to restrict the access using firewall. For example, if your IP address is, let's say, 21.51.51.22.3, and you want to access your means if you want to allow this IP address to access your EC2 instance over SSH. So what you will do, you can restrict this access. You can allow this IP over TCP/22. Okay, so firewall policies can be applied. You can also create IPsec VPN tunnel to access EC2. And next we'll move towards S3. So S3 means simple storage service. This is the one I'm talking about. Simple storage service, triple S. So we have given it a short name, S3. So this is a place in the cloud where you keep your files. All right. Uh, and what is Glacier? Glacier is very similar to S3, but it does the archiving. You can see that archive storage in cloud. So whenever you want to download any file which has been archived, or you can see which is in Glacier, so you have to wait for 3 to 4 hours, okay, before it is made available to you, because it is a archive storage in the cloud. It is very similar to S3. And in case you want to upload a file in S3, you simply first thing is you have to create a S3 bucket. S3 bucket has to be created, and then you can upload a file into that. S3 bucket means just like a folder name, the name given to group of files, so that you are able to identify those. And once it is uploaded, then you can give links to other users to download that file using URL. Okay, so it can be either public, private, or through any restricted means. Obviously you cannot make it public, because if you're hosting something in the cloud, that has to be secure. And if you want your colleague to download that file who is accessing internet, then obviously you can provide that particular link to that colleague. This is S3. and Glacier. You can see from the uh, top heading which says storage and content delivery. Alright, so let me delete it so that you have clear idea what we have discussed. First we discussed about EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud. We call it a virtual machine. Then we discussed about S3. It is the place where we store our file in cloud. And then we talked about Glacier. Glacier means archive storage in the cloud. The only bad thing is that whenever you request any file to be downloaded from Glacier, then that file will be available to you in 3 to 4 hours. Means it will take some time before it is made available to you. And last thing I want to cover in this chapter is Route 53. Route 53. Route 53 means DNS. You remember DNS port number? DNS uses two ports, TCP UDP 53. Okay, so they have given it a name, Route 53. Means Amazon also provides DNS as a service. DNS as a service. So what you will do in that? Amazon says that if you want to register a domain, you can do it. It is very similar to like we register our domains in domain tools or in godaddy.com. So those things can be done here as well in Route 53. So 4 things I have discussed, and rest of the things I'll discuss in next chapter. So I hope that it's been informative to you. Thank you.